Hello everyone, I'm Michael Garrison with Palafox Promotions. Palafox Promotions offers the single most dynamic way for you to explain your business in an interview process. It's something very unique, it's something we came up with, and everyone's enjoyed it so far. You know, ultimately, who knows the business better than the business owner? No one. There's no one out there. The owner knows everything there is about his or her own business. So that's what we feature here on Palafox Promotions. We feature business owner interviews and highlight their unique selling proposition, something that a lot of people don't understand exactly what is, but it's a necessity in business to have something that's unique to you as a business owner and as a business itself. Also, I help reveal the truth and reality of these businesses and what the owners are about. So that being said, I've got a very good friend of mine here, Florence Doisneau. She's the owner and proprietor of Realize Unlimited. She's a life coach. And it's my privilege to have her on my show. So that being said, Flo, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, hi Michael, thank you for having me. As the accent gives it away, I'm not from Pensacola. I'm actually from France. I moved to the United States about roughly 5 years ago. Been in Pensacola for 3 years. And I just do the things that I love to do. I feel very privileged that I created for myself a life that I really enjoy, where I do yoga, coach, enjoy good meals, have good friends, living the life.
You do have good friends. You're very well connected in the community, and you make it a point to actually get out and make those connections in the community. So, you know, you mentioned a coach, and I mentioned Realize. So what is Realize? What is a coach?
So Realize is the name of the company. Behind the company, there's the coach. That's me. And I chose Realize as the name for the company because to me it highlights two of the major concepts of what coaching is about. On the one hand, there's the realization as in gaining awareness, becoming conscious of something, like a belief, like simply where you stand, becoming more aware of a strength, a weakness. And then there's the whole concept of realizing something, as in building, as in completing a project. So coaching is not only about highlighting, understanding who the person is, but it's also then putting in place a strategy in order to make real an idea, a concept, a dream.
So that was the choice of the name of the company, was the actualization of what you realized?
Yes.
Okay. So tell me, you know, a lot of people don't understand it. I didn't understand it until I experienced it. You have therapy, you have coaching, you have, you know, the many different aspects out there that people see all the time through businesses or financial coaching, therapy sessions. What's the difference between all the different, you know, the different things that are out there that people they kind of get them mixed up and like they're one thing, but they're not.
That's absolutely true. Therapy and coaching are different processes and they address different things. Within therapy, a person will be in a recovery process where they look at the past and they get to see what kind of trauma, what kind of background, how it took them where they are now. Within coaching, the idea is to assess where the person is standing now and create the future. It's really put together a vision. It's designing the different elements that will concur in the fulfillment of an individual. So one looks into the past to understand the present. The other one, coaching, is looking about the present and into the future.
And you're not guiding them, you're not pushing them any direction. This is a realization that they come to on their own, and it's that aha moment. And I know when I went through it, I can recognize that aha moment, as clear as day. I know exactly when it took place, and you probably see it a lot, but a lot of people don't recognize that aha moment until later down the road. That was when I really understood what went on. That's when I realized what was happening.
Yeah, it's really a process of asking questions. Sure. It's not for me to say to a person, this is what you have to do, this is what you should do. It's exactly the main thing that I want to accomplish with people is for them to become independent, to become more self-reliant, to have confidence in their own intuition, and to start learning to listen to themselves. And that's one thing that is difficult, is to take responsibility for our lives. And it's easy to take it onto other people, like, oh, well, so-and-so told me to do this, or society expects this of me, or a number of things. It's very easy to just throw away the blame or point fingers. But really, true empowerment comes from being able to make decisions and stand by your choices, to really take in all the good and the bad and just bounce back, move forward no matter what. So yes, there are pieces of advice, but only when the person invites to it. And there's really defining the moment where you can offer a suggestion to someone, but ultimately to have someone coming to their own conclusion, owning the reasoning, and really coming to a true understanding of who they are, that's how then they can set in place sustainable actions and really be inspired to do what they have to do.
So once they start seeing what it is, there's a reprogramming that takes place in your mind. No matter how far back you've gone and looked at things, no matter what it is, coming back forward to today, and talk a little bit about that process, the NLP process, because that's what it is.
Well,
what is NLP?
I took a training, and by the end of the training, there was still no way of succinctly putting NLP in one sentence. NLP stands for Neuro-Linguistics Programming. And basically the idea behind that is that our unconscious mind is a place where we can program ourselves to then achieve more, better, and that we have a lot of information that is stored into this unconscious mind that we can't necessarily easily access. So it's not only reaccessing information as well as programming new behaviors, new things. So in other words, I don't technically use NLP, the practices of NLP, in my coaching. Again, I'm more focusing on questions and on the self-discovery process, helping people go and drill really deep down and understand where they're coming from, who they are, and who they want to be. But using the principles of NLP, being very aware that, for instance, the vocabulary that I choose, and helping my clients to also reform their language is really fundamental to sustainable changes as well, because it participates to the mindset, because it participates to setting action in motion and to stay on the course that you set for yourself.
Interesting. That's very interesting. We talked about the coaching. Obviously when people think of coaches, they think of sports. You have the coach. And this is no different. You can have the greatest sports stars in the world, but without the actual leadership, these are the plays, this is how you execute, this is what you do, and helping them be the best that they can be, they would really be nowhere. The Michael Jordans, the Joe Montanas, the Wayne Gretzkys. So how many different kinds of coaching are there? Probably many, but elaborate a little bit into a few of those.
Well, I think that the different types of coaching tend to reveal the specific place where you want to see the results. So if I talk about business coaching, the impact of the coaching will be revealed through the results of the company. Like you have a 30% increase of income, or you have doubled the number of your clients. That's the type of impact you have through business coaching. You always come back to the human no matter what, but
That's
you
right.
look at where this is directly impacting, where your work is creating an impact. Corporate coaching is looking at the executive members of a 500 plus company and giving them the actual training to make the most out of their team. They become team leaders. You help them hone their leadership and hone their skills to make the best possible teams. And it's about exploiting in a good way the optimal capacity, potential of individuals.
And how does that lead into what you do with life coaching?
Well, I don't have, let's say that really my pleasure is to discover people. My utmost goal for me is to see people really engaging into their betterment. That's what I have for myself. I have overcome a lot of anxiety, lots of self-doubt, self-sabotage, and by observing the mechanisms that were at play and by training myself with the help of coaches, I've also been into therapy. I've used all sorts of different techniques. I have gathered a lot of different tools throughout my life that have dramatically improved the quality of my existence. I am a much happier person. I'm not rich. I'm not famous. I don't abide by maybe the standards that a lot of people would set in terms of what they would see as success, but the quality of my life is such that I have true enjoyment being who I am and doing the things I do. And I want for people to be able to reveal that same truth for themselves, that they can really stand in their own shoes, not try to be someone else, that they can really select the different habits and different things in their life that will contribute to them so that they can be their best self, so that they can bring their best to this world, their best contribution.
So it's setting in place hard paradigms that are, valuable, there's good principles behind them, all the things like that. So, and it's funny because I see it, you alluded to it, these very successful corporations are all coached. These very successful businesses are all coached. These very successful sports athletes, whatever the case might be, they're coached. People that are coached in financial fields and so on and so forth that are very successful, they're coached. So if you want a very successful life, to understand what the finer things might be for you, not for someone else, but for yourself. What is it that's, what makes you tick? What makes you happy? It might not be the same thing someone else is, and you might not understand or realize what those might be without some good, valuable coaching. So I love it. I think it's great. So you alluded in the very beginning to yoga. How does your yoga, you are a yogi, you're certified. So how does that play into your coaching?
There are some interesting parallels between yoga and coaching. When really coaching amounts to tools, that's what it is. And it's basically lifestyles. These are just ingredients that combined together are the recipe to my happiness. In yoga, for instance, when I was going through my certification, I came across the book by Baron Baptiste, Journey into Power, and he really brilliantly highlighted two concepts of yoga. One is finding one's edge, and the other one is being process-oriented versus being goal-oriented. These two just really completely melt with coaching. In coaching, it's about finding that area where there is progress, where we stretch ourselves and expand ourselves beyond the comfort zone where we might be constricted. It might be comfortable, but it's just not a place of further growth. It's like a plant. Our friend Eldon will appreciate the analogy. At some point, a plant may develop roots that outgrow the pot. And if you want the plant to continue to grow, it has to be planted in a different place so that it can continue to expand. Same thing. So finding the edge is finding this place where you can grow in a safe manner. Because getting out of the comfort zone, just for the principle of going out of the comfort zone, may not be what is constructive in the long run. Taking a risk for taking a risk, it's just not really interesting unless you have something specific you want to achieve. There's really no point in making yourself unhappy. So just in the same way in yoga, when you're working in a pose, you find this place where you gain a little bit more flexibility or where you strengthen a part of your body, but not to the point where you harm yourself, where
Sure.
you injure yourself. So it's finding that place. And then there's the part about being process-oriented being versus goal-oriented. When you just goal for goal, there's really not much fulfillment. But within the process, getting to embrace a process and enjoy the step-by-step, that's when there's really enjoyment and sustainability as well.
Excellent. A lot of value. I hope everybody got a lot of value out of it. I did myself personally. How do they get a hold to you? If someone wants to book a free discovery session, if someone wants to just talk, see if it's a fit, how do they get a hold to you?
Just call me, 954-826-9172. That's really the most direct way.
Okay.
Or email me at florence@realizeunlimited.com.
Okay, excellent. And there you have it. Give the phone number one more time.
954-826-9172.
Florence Doisneau with Realize Unlimited. Come talk to her. It'll do you a lot of good. My name is Michael Garrison with Palafox Promotions. You have a great day.